On this video, I would like to ask you for your feedback if you have an HDR gaming monitor. I have one, I tested myself, and I'm gonna share my results, but Johnny Rock is telling me here on the comments that he doesn't have that problem on his gaming monitor. So I'm talking about here full range on the GPU. We have to force limit it on this LG C1 in some games to get the proper result for HDR. Otherwise the image looks washed out. So he's saying, I couldn't understand the problem you were facing because I don't see that problem on my gaming monitor. So on the gaming monitor, he says full on the GPU, and the game is they are displaying the HDR correctly. But he now got an LG OLED and he sees the problem. So what he's telling me is that he tried a DisplayPort 1.4a adapter. So you have full. So he's saying I have full on the GPU. I tried the DisplayPort adapter connected to the GPU, and then to HDMI 2.1 to the OLED, and the OLED is set to limited by itself. So because of that DisplayPort adapter. So I don't know if that's because of that adapter, or I don't know if the problem is that, like he's saying, the problem might have to do with the DisplayPort, with the HDMI 2.1 standard and the drivers. So basically, DisplayPort is maybe on the drivers is already set to change that signal properly, so the gaming monitors can display that correctly. So then they need to fix that for HDMI 2.1. So what I want to ask you is for your feedback, so other gaming monitors, and if you can specify what gaming monitor you have. So I was testing, and you can read the entire comment here. I think it is visible on the video, everything that he's saying. It's very interesting. That's very, very useful feedback. So what I want to share with you is, first, I tried on my gaming monitor. This is a Pixel PX275H. This is a 1440p, 95 Hz FreeSync gaming monitor, and it has fake HDR, so it's 350 nits only, and it doesn't work. So I open Spider-Man, and it looks the same as here on the LG OLED. Full on the GPU, full on the TV, it looks washed out. So on the gaming monitor, I don't have a way to force limit it. So it looks like this. It looks washed out. So I'm gonna show you what I'm doing here to fix it. So basically, on the gaming monitor, it looks like this. It looks washed out. And I cannot do this to fix it. But if you have an HDR gaming monitor and you see the issue on Spider-Man, for example, I'm gonna give you a solution using Reshade. So full on the GPU, on the monitor, you don't have a way to force limit it. You can use Reshade, and the preset is called Fake HDR. I tested that on my gaming monitor. So ideally, we want to find here on Reshade, we want to find a setting to limit the range, to crush from 0 to 15 and from 236 to 255. But so far, I haven't been able to find that setting. If you know where that setting is, let me know so I can try it. but now, with this fake HDR setting, just on the default values, it works very similarly. Very similar. I think it is very, very difficult to spot the difference. So if you have a gaming monitor, you want to play a Spider-Man. If you have an HDR gaming monitor, you open Spider-Man, you turn on HDR, you see that it looks washed out. Use this HDR, fake HDR effect on Reshade, and it works. It looks very similar. Let me show you the differences here. So the whole point of this video is give me your feedback if you have an HDR gaming monitor, to see if this is an issue with DisplayPort or with HDMI 2.1, and I'm gonna give you a temporary solution if you have that issue on your gaming monitor. So you will see here that I have full on the GPU, full on the TV. So the GPU is full, so the TV is automatically in full. So now, if I use this fake HDR, you will see the difference between forcing limited and just using this fake HDR. It's about the same. You will see. Limited, off fake HDR, full, off, on fake HDR. So let me make it clear. So this is full GPU, full TV, off fake HDR, on fake HDR. So I'm going to say off, on, off, on. So limited, off. Sorry. Limited, off. Full, on. Looks the same. Limited, off looks the same as full, off, on. So limited, off, full, on. It looks about the same. Limited, off, full, on. Looks about the same. So let me show you the game so you see how it looks on the game. It's so close, so close. Again, we want to find exactly the setting for, so on the Reshade, we want to find exactly the setting to limit, but I couldn't find it. I need more time to find that. So let's see. Let's change now. So this is the default. Full on the GPU, full on the TV. It looks washed out. So we use fake HDR on Reshade. Just one click, and it looks the same as just forcing limited on the TV. Very close. Forcing limited is better. You see that it looks less washed out. It looks more clean, but it's so close. So close. It is very close. You see. Full on. So the on the Reshade. Limited, off on the Reshade. So no Reshade on limited, and on full, Reshade on. You see? It's almost the same. Let's take a look at another angle. We'll see. Limited, off, full, on. So when I say on, I am pressing the button here. So this is off. So this is fake HDR off on Reshade. Fake HDR on Reshade. So off, on. So this fake HDR on Reshade looks the same as forcing limited and fake HDR off. So that's about the same result. You see? So this is a solution. This is what I tried on my gaming monitor, and it looks great. It looks very good. So because on the gaming monitor you don't have the option to force limited. So this is a temporary solution until I figured out, or you tell me how to force limited on Reshade. There is a way. I'm 100% sure there's a way to do it. I just couldn't find it. That fake HDR seems to be the same. You see? Very close. Very close. So yeah, let me know your experience. If you have a gaming monitor, I can definitely understand people that don't have the TV. They might think, what is this guy talking about? I don't have this option to force limited on my gaming monitor. It looks perfect. What is this guy talking about? You don't have the TV. If you have the TV and you have the computer, you can test it and see that what I'm telling you is what is fixing the problem. But if you have a gaming monitor, you see the issue, try this Reshade preset. And you see that it is very similar to forcing limited on the TV. So yeah, let me know Let me know if this is the issue. Before I end the video, let me read the entire comment because I think it is worth it. Not a lot of people watch the video until the end, but if you stay and you are interested, let me read the entire comment because this is very good feedback. This is what I'm looking for. So he says, Johnny Rock, he says, from my own investigations with this game, so he's talking about Metro Exodus, which is the game I was showing here. So he says, from my own investigations with this game and others, I came to the conclusion that HDR issues are more complex for the game developers alone. For example, this HDR issue is not present when you have the panel connected via DisplayPort 1.4a. Set full on NVIDIA GPU, on NVIDIA control panel, and the monitor properly displays HDR signals. That's why I didn't quite understand the problems you were facing before. So he's saying, I have a gaming monitor, I couldn't see that problem, it's just working perfect. I already knew this for the monitors, however, I wasn't capable of testing it on my LG OLED in the past. Since I now have one, I can say that is definitely the case. I connected the TV both via HDMI and via DisplayPort using an active DisplayPort 1.4a to HDMI 2.1 adapter, and the problem is still there with HDMI and gone with DisplayPort. Set the black level to auto and the TV properly sets it to limited using a DisplayPort connection with full on NVIDIA control panel. So he's saying that using the adapter from DisplayPort, so he has DisplayPort output on the GPU. That's very important because all the drivers from NVIDIA and on the GPU are now giving output to that DisplayPort. So he's saying that DisplayPort to HDMI 2.1 adapter is basically changing the signal to limited. So when he has full on the GPU, then he comes here on the TV, on the LG C1, he's coming here with full on the GPU. He's saying that he comes here to black level and he changes to limited and he sees no difference because the signal is already limited. So probably if he selects full, he's going to see that it looks washed out. Okay? So he's saying that this is already happening. So what I'm doing here, forcing limited, that is already happening. So let's keep reading. So it is my understanding that the problem arises because Windows 11 and the TV are lacking communication, like in a broken relationship, and the root of this seems to be the interface, defined signal protocols, and display drivers. So if this is happening for all gaming monitors, or if this is the case, if this is not something very specific to the adapter he is using, he is absolutely right. This being said, by default, that is, by leaving NVIDIA control panel settings alone, HDR works as intended in my gaming experiences, so I don't know if there is even an incentive for software developers and interface engineers to tackle these issues. So basically, the game has no problem. If this is something that can be resolved in drivers, I agree with him. The game developers have nothing to do. But definitely, the HDMI 2.1 interface and the NVIDIA drivers, NVIDIA needs to fix that on the drivers for sure. So then I asked him if he sees that limited is, so basically when you force limited on the TV, the max CLL 525 is going to be the clipping point instead of being 798. And he says, yeah, not quite the exact same numbers, but yeah, 550 and 800 respectively. So yeah, that sounds correct. So that's what I'm looking for. If you have this kind of feedback, either it works or it doesn't work for your gaming monitor, let me know. On my experience, on my gaming monitor, using DisplayPort, it is not working. I get the same washed out image, and the only solution I have is using that Reshade fake HDR preset. Or if you have a better preset to do the limited, let me know, because I'm sure there's a preset to fix that. So yeah, give me your feedback.